Alright, guys, let's jump in and do this. We got the trades for the two teams there, the People Squad and my team, sitting there with a lot of salary remaining. We've decided to use 3 trades this week. We're coming into this week with 13 trades remaining, and thinking, sitting there with 4 players available only for round 17. I thought it was a good chance for us to spend a few of those trades, and we've decided to go with 3, just for the fact that we think 7 might be enough to at least hold rank this week. 7 decent players anyway. We've only got 1 cash out, I believe. So, 7 decent players holding rank there, having 10 trades available to use, 2 in round 18, 2 in round 19 to really set us up for our gun 17 to have, 6 trades left for the last 6 rounds. I think that sets us up really nicely. And we're sitting there with 470k to utilize next few weeks. And that will allow us to get players like Ben Hunt, Pappenhausen, Cherry Evans, Ponga, whoever the hell we want, right? Basically, over the next few weeks, which will be really, really cool to shore up a few of our spots. So we've obviously, got Nico Hines as someone that we'd like to upgrade eventually. That could go to a Ponga or whoever we want to. There we do have a Teddy, so we don't really need too much in the wing fullback position. But maybe we want to get a couple of stronger guys in that hooker position, for example. We do have Payne Haas already, so the team's set up pretty well. But in terms of this week, the 3 trades that we made were to bring in Jesse Ramian for Olam, which I think is a really good upgrade for, Olam was someone that we'd had as our sort of cover in the center position, and instead of that, we now upgrade to Ramian, and at worst, if Peachy doesn't end up being the player that we need him to be over the last, 9 rounds or whatever it is, then we've got Ramian and Averillo to do that for us. So that was really cool. I'm happy with that. We decided to go Lolo to Taumalolo. Sorry, decided to go Tohu to Taumalolo. In that straight swap there in the mids, which banks us another 150k, and then we brought in Taffy. So that was just a small downgrade in terms of a cash grab, but that was Spencer Lanu to Taffy there. So if you look at it, it's only like a 70, 80k bank of cash, but we just thought with having that extra few trades up our sleeve, we could utilize that, and if we need to, and if Schuster comes back in good form, maybe we need Hines to play for the next few weeks, we can have a really strong 17 players in round 18 there after Origin. Because if we have a few guys that don't back up, in Trebojevic, in Teddy, and those kind of guys, then I think we're going to need a few of these guys to back up. So I think holding Schuster, for example, making sure the Hines is there for round 18, having Gamble, having these types of guys there, Peachy, etc., is going to be really helpful in round 18. So I think that was probably the smartest option, just to get another player on the park, bank the 80k, and Taffy, Blake might be able to play in round 18 if Latrell doesn't play, if he doesn't back up, so we might be able to use him as another number as well. So that's kind of the thoughts on the 3 trades there for the People Squad. What do you guys think around our trades at the moment? Do we think we've left enough salary to be able to utilize over the next few weeks? Are we worried about Tohu being traded out? As to, I'm not exactly sure how long he's going to be out for. Do we think that Cleary, we won't be able to have enough cash left over to get Cleary back? These are all, I suppose, real decent questions that we need to answer. But in terms of our actual playing players this week, we've got Verrills up there, who's going to do a serviceable job for us. And then you've got Lolo. Obviously Johnson, I think we're going to use Johnson as captain, which is going to be pretty safe. He's just been doing all the kicking, and we spoke about him previously. Ramian and Averillo in the centres, which will be solid. So it'll be nice to have Ramian there. He's been really consistent. And then Walsh and Blake Taffy there to round out our wing fullbacks. I think we'll be able to get a fairly solid score this week. I think a lot of teams will be running a fairly similar thing here. The question will just be how many trades they have left. And I've seen a few guys in my comments and on Facebook pages and stuff saying they have 4 trades left, 6 trades, 1 trade, these kind of amounts here, which is pretty silly. And a team like us, ranked 683, will be able to overtake them really quickly just with the amount of trades that we've got left. And we did that review video a couple of days ago and showed that there was a few weeks there where we kind of just used 1 trade or used no trades at all. I think 13 and 14 we didn't use any, so that's sort of kind of put us in a good spot here to capitalize in the last sort of 9 rounds. So that's where we're at the moment for the People Squad. And my personal team there, we went for 2 trades this week, and that was to bring in Lolo as well. I just think he's dropped enough in price, and I think he's got 2 good scores in a row. I think it's good to see some consistency. That that 80 odd score he had a bunch of weeks ago was kind of the anomaly at this stage of where he's at the moment. That was early on in his recovery. He's kind of had a bunch of games now to get back into regular footy, get his legs back, and hopefully he can increase his meters gained and obviously his tackle bust, etc. from there to be able to average somewhere in the 50s. So I think he's the safest option in this team at a cheaper price compared to guys like Josh Jackson and stuff, who a few people are thinking of, but just are that little bit more expensive than what Lolo is. So brought him in and then brought in Blake Tafe as well. So Dane Laurie comes out for him and also Tohu down to Lolo. And that gives me 592k, which is awesome going into the next few weeks. So guys I'm looking to trade out over the next few weeks are Hines, Schuster, there's a chance, Roger. They're my three. So utilizing those three, I think, is going to be able to get me to a Trbojevic, get me to a Ben Hunt, I think, for hooker or half as like my third half, as well as my second hooker, if I don't trade out Bradley, because he's also an option to trade, but I do end up sitting with 9 trades after this week. So Trbojevic will be the big one to get in. Ben Hunt is another target, and then maybe a DC or Hughes if I want to or need to, but we can work that out based on injuries and stuff that come along. In terms of my playing team this week, I have Verrills and Lolo, so same as People's Squad. I have CHN, which is cool. He's going to be helpful. Johnson's captain, Joey Manu, Averillo, and then Roger, Walsh, and Blake Tafe. So sitting with 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 players. So I think having 9 this week, we'll have 7 in the People's Squad, 9 this week in this team with the possibility that Sawali plays. I can't believe that he hasn't been named. Of course he hasn't. But there's a chance that he comes in and plays as well. But the grand scheme of things, I'm really happy that I could have 9 or 10 players on the park. I think I'll improve rank this week, unless they all have an absolute shocker. But really, being realistic, I think not many people have anywhere near 9 players playing this week, so should be able to gain some ranks and then really launch over the next few weeks and get right back into that top 1k over the next 2 to 3 weeks is my thoughts. Especially, if Madison, Leilua, I've got Fafita there sitting there waiting to go. And then the upgrades I can make to get Trbojevic, to get Ben Hunt. I think the team's going to be well rounded out, and I'll be able to launch really well into the stratosphere, heading to the moon, guys. We are heading into that top 1,000. Can't wait to see how this week pans out, and also the next few, and hopefully a New South Wales whitewash and a nice 3-0 sweep would be completely ideal going forward. So there you go, guys. That's the 2 teams there. The alternates fell by the wayside. I'm still making trades, but there's no point analyzing it because I'm just making completely random trades at this point just to get through the end of the season after having a shocker last week as well. So yeah, here we are for these 2 teams. Let's see how they go over the next few. Let me know how your teams are going during the week. Get in those comments, guys. Get in the Discord and talk around especially in that people's team group chat. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good time. Bye.